Welcome, Jordan, to the Box of Random podcast, where adventure is calling, but I'm just too lazy. Today it's just the two of us again. We're having a, hopefully, less chaotic episode after last time.
I'm not guaranteeing anything.
Well, less loud.
Guaranteeing.
I guarantee all the things.
It's like, it sounds like, guaranteeing, like, a buccaneer or something.
Yeah, I guarantee the buccaneer.
Orienteer. That's what I was thinking, like orienteering an adventure.
Yeah.
I guarantee the orienteer. It's a weird way of putting it, but whatever.
I guarantee your satisfaction from this course.
Heck yeah. We now run a course. No, I'm just teasing. We don't. However, our brother does run
he just got his website up.
Yeah, our brother Ethan Holden. I don't feel bad
He
saying
has it
his
up
name.
on the site.
Yeah, he has it up on the site, so I don't feel bad about saying his last name.
Gamespaz.com.
GAMESPAZ.com. There is one, for some reason, Google Chrome, it will suggest that you go to GameSpaz with 2 Z's, and that's a domain that's for sale, so it's kind of useless to go there, so I wouldn't recommend it. But, you know, you can if you want to buy it, but, so, he does game reviews. Right now he only has one up.
For board games.
For board
which
games.
I haven't seen much of.
Yeah, the only one he's got up right now is Funglish, it's called. Like, Fun English.
This is all a work in progress. Like, he's still learning how to do the website, and I'm going to help him with the reviews, hopefully, like the wording and stuff, because I don't want to be mean and full of myself, but I write better than and it is a rough draft, but still. And again, I don't mean to be arrogant, but I do.
But he is. So, if you go on there, then he has links to Amazon through his game reviews. If you go on and buy a game if you buy something from Amazon going through that link, as long as you got to Amazon through that link, he gets a portion, he gets paid.
He gets paid, and that's awesome, so do that, please.
So yeah, please go support him. Again, GameSpaz, G-A-M-E.
Also, you don't have to buy anything you weren't going to buy, you just have to go through that link.
Yeah. So GAMESPAZ.com, GameSpaz.com. We would love to have you buy something.
I would love to have that take off because I want to be a part of it because you don't see reviews for board games as much.
No, you don't.
I haven't anyway.
But who knows?
Okay, so we missed our Christmas episode. We never did that.
Mm-mm.
I was going to...
And then we moved.
Yeah.
Which I put up on Facebook. Speaking of, we have a Facebook page now. I'll get into that in a second. But because of the move, we weren't able to really do anything that we wanted to.
We're just settling into the new house.
Yeah, my room is still a mess.
My room's less of a mess, but I still have things in more boxes.
So, we're getting settled in. So, honestly, I'm just glad that we're getting this episode.
Yeah. Good thing to do on schedule, even if it's late.
On schedule, it's late.
Yeah.
Those things don't mix, Parris.
No, it's on schedule, just we missed other things on the schedule.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. It is. It's on schedule.
Just not properly.
Yeah. So, for everybody who's listening, thank you.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are interested, all of you on the Facebooks and the space tweets and the whatnots, I know I'm not old, but I still like making fun of them. We now have a Facebook page. Just look up Box of Random Podcast. It should come up. It was the same, a profile picture, well, page picture, I guess. Not really a profile picture, but a page picture.
An abstract concepts profile. If you think of profile picture right now, because of the internet and the profiles, we've got that associated to something representing a person or a page or whatever, but it's not. It's the shape of a person.
Yeah.
So, doesn't quite work.
So, the page picture is our podcast cover, so you should be able to find it really easy.
Tana's been taking care of Facebook stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to manage it, but, like,
more than me.
It's like 6 people reached, and it's like I think 12, we have 12 people that like the page, that are supposedly following it, but they don't care. Half of them don't care, and the other half will look at it and say, oh, that's cool, and then leave. And it's like, guys, love me. Please.
At least pity me.
Well, yeah, that's it. And then I'd really love to get these up on actual podcast sites like iTunes, Stitcher Radio. I would love to get these up there, but again, money. Yeah. Which is why you should go buy my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. We still have to finish up the first Watchtower file.
So
we're doing a series thing that I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it.
Okay, so you know what it is, but we need to finish it up so we can put it up because I like it, as I said before. Again.
Yeah. So if you're interested, Never Was, 2 words, by Tanner. Yeah, by Tanner Holden. So if you go on, it's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free for the Kindle Unlimited, or through the Kindle's owner library. I am unsure on the details of that, but I know it's a thing. So yeah.
Yay.
All right.
26 days.
26 days until
Breath of the Wild.
Parris is doing countdown to Breath of the Wild.
I'm hyped.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell.
By the multiple times. I mean, I waited like 4 years for it.
Yeah, but so has everybody else.
I know. But
I mean, the internet, the whole of the internet is hyped for this game.
I've waited more than you, so ha.
Yeah, probably. So
I watched all the games. It's so pretty.
Also, Fire Emblem Heroes just came out.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, if anybody is unsure about the Fire Emblem series but doesn't want to pay to try it out, Fire Emblem Heroes is great for you. It is super simplified from the main series games, so it's really easy to follow, and it's still a lot of fun.
Good thing to get into it. Like, it's a puddle next to the not a puddle.
Like Lake Erie Lake. I'm not sure which is the largest. I know Lake Erie was like middle to small of the Great Lakes, but I'm not
But
sure.
it's the funniest name, so it's easiest to remember.
Yeah. So
I like Fire Emblem, and I liked the new ones, but they're getting easy.
they are. They're getting easy. They're simplifying it. They're adding new mechanics, which is cool.
But they're
But they make
making
them
them
easier.
And I like the skills and the pairing units up, but the enemies need to do that more too.
Yeah.
Like, the games are getting a lot easier. Just
If the enemies start pairing up, that would be
like Pokemon.
that would make things really hard to predict, and you would have to either buff your guys a lot with the extra experience, or you would have to think a lot harder.
Instead of throw them out into the middle of the enemy army and just win. Like,
Yeah.
you can do that because you don't even have durability on weapons anymore.
Yeah,
You can just have them stand there in an infinite mob of enemies and just never die because they heal every third
which is
fight.
really just silly.
Yeah.
It's
Used to be you could eventually die because they would get a critical hit every once in a while. But now you just heal it back. Which, I mean, again, that's fine, but the enemies just don't do it enough with it in my experience.
But Sacred Stones, that one was a good one. It was for the Game Boy Advance. It was the
That
second.
was my first one.
I think it was the second one released in America.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, second one released in America, and it was it got really hard for me, anyways. Granted, I was like 8, but I always got to the same point right after you got the thief, and then what was his name?
Colm. It's weird to pronounce, but
Yeah, that's
he was
right.
one of my favorites. I made him an assassin, and he wrecked it.
Yeah, I loved him, and I wanted to race him, but because of that, it always got super hard for me after that point, so I just kept giving up. And then a year later, I'd come back to it. Same thing would happen, just over and over.
On that
So-
game, the bosses would always give you a level. When you beat the boss, you would get a level. So if you just do the Tower of Volney over and over, the first floor, you get a level minimum every time. And so Lute was one of my other favorites, and I got her 2 levels later. She was a level 20 sage. And then, like, Amelia, who was the best as a general because she was fast, because she was designed to become a paladin. And then, why would you? She's a fast general with great defense, too. And Ewan and Ross, just take them to the Tower of Volney, throw in a high-level unit, kill all the little guys, and then have them last hit the boss with a ranged weapon, because the first boss was a zombie with no ranged attacks that wouldn't move.
That's ridiculous.
I did that so many times.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the Amelia as a general, because she was fast, made me think of this, but in Path of Radiance, the one for GameCube,
The one with Ike and all those.
once you beat it the first time, you would get, each of your characters would get seals that would,
Well, several would get bands,
bands they were
I
called?
believe.
I thought they were seals, but
Maybe. I don't remember.
whatever they were, they would, if the character was holding them, then certain stats would,
Have a higher chance of raising.
every time you leveled. So, if you
When
gave,
you get Gatry and Shinnon at the beginning, you switch. What we did is we switched their seals or bands or whatever, and so Gatry was fast and Shinnon was tough, and so we had a sniper run in and take 0 damage from these enemies,
we had a general dodging every attack.
it was great.
It was ridiculous.
So funny.
It was terrible.
It was great.
But, so, and there's a,
They confirmed so many Fire Emblem games.
yeah.
I'm so glad Awakening was successful, because that was going to be the last one if it wasn't.
And was it confirmed or teased that they're going to make Fire Emblem Warriors?
It was confirmed.
It was
In a trailer
confirmed.
with Crom.
Awesome. So they're making. So if you know of Dynasty Warriors,
Corrin and Robin, stay out of that game. You had your turn in Smash Bros.
Well, those are their most popular ones, though.
Yeah, but they put Ruto in Hyrule Warriors,
That's
so popularity is not a factor.
But so, if you know of Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, they're doing something similar, but with Fire Emblem this time. So it's like a hack and slash game, beat 'em up,
Kind of,
sort of. That's something that a lot of people fail to recognize.
I was talking to someone about Hyrule Warriors, and they were like talking about how the combat was way too shallow for them, and I was telling them it's not about the individual combat; it's about the map dominance. You're manipulating the battle, not just fighting enemies.
Yeah, it presents an interesting question, which is kind of overruled by your characters being overpowered compared to all the little foot soldiers. But it's how do you manipulate the battlefield when you don't control an army? You're just one person, and you have an army on your side, but you don't control them. You can't decide where they go. You have to go and fight the enemy and free up opportunities. It's if somebody made a game where you weren't ridiculously overpowered compared to all the foot soldiers, and posed that same question, I think I would play that. I don't think it would be very popular because you have to struggle to beat all these other people, and you die really easy. But I think it would be a really interesting way to look at an army game.
They made you weaker, but it's still possible for you to take out multiple guys
Yeah.
based on your skill. But they give you more control over what the army does, like half of an real-time strategy one, like StarCraft.
Yeah.
They give you about half of the control for that, but they let you go and help with the battle more. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So Hyrule Warriors, I enjoyed, but it never got deep. Like at least in the story, it was never challenging. It was never super.
And maybe that's because we
interesting.
always played together. Maybe it was just
But
because we had two players all the time. But still, yeah.
Dynasty Warriors 6, I believe. Do we have?
We have 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
4.
Dynasty
We've
Warriors
played
4.
5.
In like 3 levels, it was harder than the final level on Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
And more detailed, and the soldiers behaved more complicatedly, and it was. Honestly, the Hyrule Warriors and the different Warriors games besides Dynasty Warriors are fun, but they are not as good.
Yeah.
And just objectively, they're not as good.
Well, depending on the audience.
Okay,
you're looking at.
mechanically, they're not as good.
Okay, that's fair.
They're just not.
There was a part in Hyrule Warriors where you play as Link, and I'm still mad at this, but so the player 1 has to be a specific character depending on what the mission is in the story.
And then
player
I'm
2,
always Impa.
Yeah, player 2 can just do whatever he wants.
Fiery Naginata, my character was chosen for me.
Yeah. But so I was Link, and this was near the end of when you fought Sia.
Yeah.
And so she had just brought out a bunch of Shadow Links that you had to go fight.
And she forces you, the main player 1, to be in the room with the different Shadow Links.
And she traps you in there. And so I was playing Link. Parris was outside, dominating the entire map by himself. I was taking on the Shadow Links just fine by myself. And then 3 of them spawned, and I was like, bring it. And then there was a cutscene. I would have won. Let's just be clear on that. I would have won.
He was getting close.
And then there was a cutscene, and it was like, Link, you need help. And then Lana appears, and she was like, Magiciness, I killed all of them at once. I was like, I did all that work. Don't you steal the glory, you piece of crap.
Way to steal the moment.
Lana. That was my moment.
Hyrule Warriors did not have a good story.
No, and I mean,
It was not the focus, so
No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't.
Whatever. But
and it was still a fun game.
I
mean,
like the game.
I was still willing to pay $50 for it after I had already tried it out. So it was still a good game. But it was... the story was...
Yeah. It
That's
looked
gonna be
like
sound
they
clip.
were... It looked like they were trying a little, but either they had no talent or were only trying a very, very small amount. Which is probably what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Super excited for Breath of the Wild. And I'm really, really hoping the story is much less Skyward Sword and way more like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking with Tanner, well, at Tanner, about this a while ago. He was like, yeah, well, you should go away, I want to sleep. And so, people talk about Skyward Sword, well, many people talk about its story, and oh, the characters are so great, I love the story. I don't. But I don't like the direction they were going with Skyward Sword, where they were focusing too much on the characters, which is not what Zelda's story is supposed to be. It's not Zelda's story, it's not Ganondorf's or Ganon's story, it's not even Link's story, it's Hyrule's story. Legend of Zelda is about the kingdom and its cycle. Yeah. And Link is an important part of that. He's way up there, but it's not even about him. It's about the kingdom.
and just for the sake of discussion, I'm just gonna. It is like. Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You're gonna be the layman's advocate.
I'm not sure if you're saying that I'm gonna talk to the idiots or the bad people.
You know, devil's advocate, you're going, like, why don't we be evil? Layman, like, someone ignorant and doesn't know a lot. Layman's advocate, so you're arguing on that side.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that more. I like it.
It was... Yeah, that's not how the other Zelda games have gone, but there's always been this characteristic of being a part of something. Like in Twilight Princess is probably...
I like that story a lot more.
Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask are probably the two biggest examples of this, but Majora's Mask, you were going around helping people too, not just going on an adventure, you were going around and helping people too. And Twilight Princess, a lot of the things that you did for the storyline was for other people, like Colin or Ilia. But those are probably the two biggest examples. I can't think of many others. But Skyward Sword, I think it was just trying to capitalize on that, but it went a little bit too far.
Yeah, and with your examples, Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, it used characters to flesh out the world more and give motivation to the different characters, Twilight Princess for Link especially.
Yeah.
But it was still a story of how the kingdom was in danger and the people rose up to protect it.
Yeah.
Person in Majora's Mask. But Twilight Princess, you're saving the girl. And that's the motivation, and I hate that. It's not supposed to be...
Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword?
I mean Skyward Sword. Did I say Twilight Princess?
You said Twilight Princess.
I'm sorry, I love that you are not saving the girl in Twilight Princess.
You start out that way, and then once you get the girl back, you're like...
Well, you're saving your friend, not your romantic interest.
Yeah.
It's someone who's in danger, not, I love you.
Yeah, it was, someone's in danger, I'm gonna go protect them.
Yeah.
And then once you did, you were like, okay, there's some really bad stuff going on, I have to fix this.
Yeah. And I kind of forgot what I was going to talk about.
In Skyward Sword, you're going around, oh, my love!
Yeah, that's basically it.
And
the kingdom, there's no Hyrule. That I still refuse to believe Skyloft turned into Hyrule. That's dumb. Skyloft is in a different part of the world with a different top-tier sword, with a different enemy, with a different everything. And even if it is in the same part of the world, there's no way the kingdom lasted that long.
No.
No way.
Especially not with a civil war.
All the time.
Yeah.
Hyrule's been at war with itself over and over and over. Constantly through the years.
It does.
Oh, okay, talking about the Civil War all the time, I'm bringing up a thing. Tanner brought this up, but it was only kind of in passing. I think I thought about it a little more than he did.
Probably.
But Link in Ocarina of Time is ancient.
Yeah. So, I think we may have touched this on our Zelda Theory episode.
I don't know if we did. I don't think we did, because we thought it...
Maybe.
More
I don't know.
Yeah, but kind of. I don't remember.
So, basically,
in Ocarina of Time, the Dooku Sprout, I say Dooku because D is for Lixdexia, and my older brother said it like that, and I grew up saying it like that, and I'm sorry if you're annoyed. The Dooku Sprout was, when it's telling about how Link is a Hylian, and there's this black fire in the background, and so that's probably a pretty big war. And Hyrule, officially, Link is 10 years old. But we all know how official canon is set in stone and never changes ever.
Definitely not.
Yeah. But, so then, he was taken by his mother to the Dooku Tree in the forest. And the Dooku Tree sees that he's special and takes him in. And then, later in his life, he leaves and goes and saves the world, except not the world, but kind of the world, because the evil influence spreads and stuff happens. And then, in Hyrule, it is the most peaceful country with itself, with all of its neighbors. That country was not at war 10 years ago.
There's no way.
Plus, one thing I thought of recently is there's no racism.
Yeah.
Like, in Ireland, there are the nationalists and the loyalists, I believe.
Something like that.
And one side, they define themselves as UK citizens. The other side defines themselves as Irish. And they have to have walls in cities to this day because there's too much violence between them.
Yeah.
Hyrule, which was unified after the war, probably, during or after in a subsequent war, that Link was brought to?
That one was the
Dooku Sprout.
Hyrule Unification War, I
Maybe.
believe.
Maybe, because I looked it up in the Dooku Sprout. When he's talking to you, he says, sometime ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this land, this country, there was a great war. So that wording sounds like that was a war before.
Yeah.
But it could have been that it happened as it was being unified, which I don't think it was. But that's when Link came to there, before Hyrule was unified, and all of Hyrule identifies as Hylian citizens. And there's no, oh no, I'm a citizen of this country, down with Hyrule, they killed our families and slaughtered villages and women and children, and,
Yeah.
you know, women holding babies young enough to not remember.
Yeah,
There's no
like
way.
the people of Kakariko Village. They all identify as Hylians. They are all Hylians. If it had been at war, there would have been split sides. And I know that a lot of those people moved in recently because Impa had just opened up the village, but there should still be some natives there who would
Lots of
identify
resentment.
as Sheikah, not Hylian, if it had just been at war.
Or whatever race they were, from the country that was conquered.
Yeah.
And they did conquer countries.
And then also, everybody called the Gerudo, but you have to remember is that they had their own culture, their own king, that it's not that nobody wanted to go with them, it's just that they were never ready to serve under high rule. They still weren't ready even when they signed the treaty that was a plot by Ganondorf.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's my thing. So I'm pretty sure Link, the hero of time, is at least 100, probably way more.
yeah. Alright, that's half an hour. And we kind of defaulted back to old topics. Because this one was kind of in a rush.
We talked about some new stuff. I'm too excited.
Yeah. Maybe once it comes out, we can go on to something new. But so
Talk about Final Fantasy 15.
yeah. So once I think this part is over. So
Yeah.
probably gonna have part 2 if Parris is gonna talk about Final Fantasy 15.
I love that game.
So go check that out. Please leave us a rating and a review wherever you are listening. If you're on YouTube, a like and a comment. So check us out, part 2, and check out our other videos too. Parris is trying to cut me off.
Only a little.
It's revenge. All right. Bye.